Here comes Obina. The ball's cutting, everyone run. In the land of Umueri, boys are born like all others, but they never become men. Why? Because none of them have balls. No one talks about it. No one dares. But tonight, we break the silence. In a quiet land surrounded by dry hills and soft winds, there was a village called Umueri. It looked like any other village. One small hut after another, children playing in the dust, old people sitting under the sun telling stories. But Umueri was not like other places. Something was missing. In Umueri, every baby boy grew up without balls. When a boy was born, the people would celebrate. But deep inside, they were afraid. Because before the boy could learn to walk, a man would come in the night. No one saw him clearly, they only heard his steps. He came from the mountains with his sharp knife and cold silence. By dawn, the boy's balls would be gone. No blood, no cries, just gone. They said his name was Ogbonna. He lived far away in the dark mountains with his strange, quiet wife. No one ever went there. It was a place of fear. People whispered that Ogbonna was not a man, but something else, something older than the wind. And in that place, beyond the cliffs and forests, stood a tall, strange tree. Its branches were thick and twisted. Its leaves were green all year, even when the rains didn't come. But what made it feared were the two skin-like sacs hanging from its branches. They swung gently in the wind, soft, wrinkled, and shaped like a man's balls. People called it the Tree of Remembrance. It was said that Ogbonna hung the balls of every boy he had taken, one for each child born in Umueri. No one had ever counted how many. The elders told the people not to speak of the tree. It is not for us, they would say. It is Ogbonna's work. Still, some people talked when the nights were long and the fire was warm. They told the story of a hunter named Adebayo and how he had angered something that should not have been touched. But most were too scared to listen because if Ogbonna heard, he might come again. Long before the curse, Umueri was a place of joy. Men hunted with pride, women danced under the moon, and children ran free without fear. Among them was a man named Adebayo, strong, brave, and full of laughter. He was the best hunter in Umueri. With a single arrow, he could bring down a deer. With his voice, he could calm wild dogs. The people loved him, the women admired him. But Adebayo's eyes were always looking beyond the village toward the hills and trees where no man dared to walk. One evening, after a long hunt, Adebayo was walking home. The sky was painted orange and gold. The forest was quiet. He passed a path he had never taken before, a narrow trail that led toward a quiet river. He should have gone home, but something pulled him. At the river's edge, he saw her, a woman unlike any he had ever seen. Her skin was smooth like dark honey. Her hair flowed like the river itself. She wore no cloth, yet she did not seem naked. She stood in the water, her back to him, humming a song that made the trees lean closer to listen. Adebayo forgot his hunger. He forgot his home. He stepped closer. "Who are you?" he asked, but his voice sounded small. The woman turned slowly. Her eyes were deep, glowing with something old and powerful. "You saw me," she said softly. Adebayo nodded, unable to look away. "You were not meant to," she smiled. It was not a kind smile. Still, Adebayo stepped into the river. He did not understand why. He only knew he had to be near her. She touched his face. Her hands were warm, yet they made his skin shiver. They lay together beneath the trees in the soft, wet earth as the river whispered their secret to the night. But when Adebayo woke, the woman was gone. In her place stood something else, a beast. Tall, with the body of a man, but the face of a creature, horned, with burning eyes and breath like smoke. His skin was black like ash, and his arms were wrapped in chains of bone. The beast did not roar. He looked down at Adebayo and spoke with a voice like thunder and sorrow. "You touched what was mine," he said, "and now you will pay?" Adebayo begged. He cried out, but his voice did not move the wind. The beast turned and walked toward the mountains, carrying a pain too deep for words. The woman never returned. That night, the skies darkened over Umueri. The winds grew still. A storm began, but it was not a storm of rain. It was a storm of revenge. And from that moment on, purifying the curse was born. The storm did not howl with wind or pour down rain. It moved like a shadow, cold, slow, heavy. That same night Ogbonna came to Umueri. No one saw him walk. The wind did